What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. You know, it's crazy. I've been going around doing so much stuff, trying to keep up with everything that is the Cowboys. It's actually hard to. One of the hard things is getting things out as quick as you would like to. When I first started doing YouTube, 2015, 2016, you'd upload, you make it live instantly. Now, when I record on my computer, a 10-minute video takes about 5 minutes to upload here from Red Brick House. And don't ask me why, when I have the Ethernet cable, it's slower than if I use the Wi-Fi. Don't know why, it just does. Be that as it may, then YouTube has to go through their processing and run their checks. So sometimes that may end up being 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes it'll say 40 minutes. I guess it depends on how many people are leaking up on the servers at the same time. And it just is what it is. But you think of the millions and millions of footage that's always uploaded every minute of the day. It's amazing that it works at all. I've been doing this for 11 years, but I'm still blown away that I can sit here, talk to my cell phone, and within minutes it can go around the world. It still blows me away. You have to understand that in Boy Scouts, when I was about 11, 12 years old, we went to the Air Traffic Control's Computer Center. And the center's computer room was the size of a large gymnasium. And it was filled with vacuum computers. All rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of them. And all of those computers combined don't have a tenth of the power of this cell phone. And that's why it amazes me. What also amazes me is the Dallas Cowboys. Dumb and Dumber, Jerry and Stephen Jones, although we haven't heard from either of them at all since season ended. Isn't that interesting? Now we know, here's what we know. We're getting all kinds of information, and this is where it's been so busy trying to keep up with the Joneses. I literally forgot it was Wednesday, and then I had the Dan Saleo show. Just forgot. I literally forgot. And then I had Michael. We had some new channel members that we had to get their stuff out to them. We had shirts and things that were won by people. We had to get stuff out for them. We had stuff that's actually going international to Mexico. So shout out to all you guys. I hope that I got everybody squared away. If you don't get your prize or your stuff and you emailed me, send me an email next week and say, hey, checking the status on it. Give me a couple days. Give it a couple days to try and get there. So we had the first shoe to drop was the Cowboys want to interview Robert Saleh. I'm assuming that people are looking at Robert Saleh and saying, he's not a failure, the Jets are a failure. And that he was a product of the failures of the Jets. Maybe they're thinking they're going to have the Sam Darnold effect, who Sam Darnold was there with the Jets and failed, and goes to Minnesota. Oh, he kind of failed this weekend too. Okay, but be that as it may, he was a great defensive mind with San Francisco, and even when he left the Jets defense was playing really well. They were in the top 5 pretty much in most categories. It was the offense that failed with Aaron Rodgers. So we found out the Cowboys talking to Robert Saleh, and they have an interview sometime this week. Well, tomorrow's already Thursday, so sometime this week is Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. Sunday is next week. So, sometime there. We also found out from Jolena Anderson that the Cowboys have covertly, undercover, double secret probation, been talking to some people. We know Deion was public, and we really know why Deion was public. Jerry Jones' ego, after seeing the Eagles win, and then the Commanders, with his former defensive coordinator, now the head coach, doink a field goal to go in and win, woke up on Monday morning and literally had a hissy fit and said, I got to get back in the news. Two teams in my division, one which has been a doormat forever, are both going to the divisional round. And for the Commanders, the first time in 19 years. They literally passed Jerry Jones. You call Deion and make sure everybody knows about it to create drama for Monday Night Football. You know this because literally before the game, you've got Troy Aikman talking about this isn't really a coveted job, and then you end up getting a call to Deion, and we're talking. Do you really believe Deion's going to leave the palace that he has building in Colorado? He's not coming here. It doesn't fit what Jerry does. Deion's got a coaching staff that's kind of like an MC Hammer. It's like MC Hammer's entourage. That's the word, entourage. And Deion's going to want $16, $17 million a year. Things that Jerry Jones is not going to want to do. Robert Saleh, on the other hand, coach on the rebound, defensive guy, a guy that doesn't really like to be in the limelight, perfect guy. Because then he hires that guy, you know that Jason Witten, Jason Garrett 2.0, is going to be part of the Cowboys one way or the other. Whoever gets hired, Jason Witten's going to be part of it. Then we hear that they've requested an interview with Leslie Frazier. And as I pointed out earlier when I actually said that the Cowboys are setting this up, I pointed out that this is the Rooney Rule. It's the Rooney Rule. You have to bring a minority candidate in and interview him for the position. And typically it is just a sham. I have no feeling whatsoever that Leslie Frazier, who hasn't been a head coach for quite a while, is going to be picked as the Dallas Cowboys' next head coach. I just don't. I'm sure there's others that are going to be on this roster, on this list, but people seem to be getting on board or getting behind. Well, one, Robert Saleh, of course. You know, right now everybody's trying to look at somebody and get excited. But Aaron Glenn seems to be the guy that a lot of people want to have. Our defense has been more of our Achilles heel for the most part. We haven't gotten anywhere near a 90s defense or a 70s defense to really help us get over the hump. We've had top 5 offenses. When we haven't had that defense that complements it too much. So maybe getting a defensive guy, a Robert Saleh, a Ben Johnson, forget that one. He's already pretty much taken. Aaron Glenn will have a focus on the defense, and maybe the Cowboys will listen to him more than they did Dan Quinn, which is why Dan Quinn was kind of like, you know, tomorrow's not promised. I need a sense of urgency. And I wonder when everything happened at the end of last year, if the Cowboys had thoughts or ideas that Dan Quinn was going to be the heir apparent to Mike McCarthy. And you have to wonder, because now we have the revisionist history that's going on, that all of a sudden Dak and Mike McCarthy didn't get along, and that Mike McCarthy wanted Amari Cooper out of here, and so on. It's kind of funny how now we're hearing these rumors, because this is the Cowboys trying to justify not bringing back Mike McCarthy, because I think Mike McCarthy basically said, you know what, I've done everything you've asked me to do with what I've been given. And you're asking me to get rid of more of my staff, not get a pay raise, and literally stand under the microscope. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm the hell out of here. And I have to applaud him. Because at some point, you can't just keep pushing people over and over again. And so now, you got Bobby Belt, who's all of a sudden coming through. You know, him and Dak didn't get along. I'm sorry. Didn't Dak and Mike McCarthy literally go to his house, his family's house, and his stomping grounds of Mike McCarthy? Didn't Dak Prescott go to bat and basically say, bring back Mike McCarthy, and he should have more power? When did this whole thing of the two of them not getting along come from? I think that's some bullshit. But then again, you know, when you lose and you don't want to take blame, you deflect. It's kind of like I'm holding it. I'm holding it. This comedian, you know, he acts like he's not that bright and stuff. And he said, I want to make sure I get this right. He does his own laundry at home. And he was so proud about saying, I do my own laundry, okay? But he said, I'm going to keep this. One of these times when she jumps on me and everything else, he said, I'm going to come out and say, I do my own laundry. They got into a fight, and he said, I do my own laundry. Because he's trying to deflect from the problem that's there. And so, I do my own laundry. So what Jerry Jones is trying to do, my wife opened up the door like, what Jerry Jones is trying to do is, he's trying to deflect from all of the reasons that the team isn't winning, that he's responsible for. Let's be clear. We're talking about Jerry Jones, who literally flew his helicopter into practice, middle of practice. And I don't want to hear, well, he didn't have any place to land it, because he's got that big ass parking lot out front. You know, the one that everybody parks at when they're going to the Star and doing all the tours? There's a lot of space over there. A lot of space. So I don't want to hear that. The same guy who literally said, we're going to do more with less. And Dummer, who literally said, well, you know, CeeDee Lamb is getting this big contract, and we understand that he broke all the Cowboys' passing receiving record for a single season last year, getting like 10 touches a game. Well, now, we got to get CeeDee Lamb the ball like 12 to 15 times a game because we're paying him more money. You cheap-ass, dumb somebody who doesn't understand. How much you're paying a football player is not going to change how much production is available. If you understood that accomplishment that he made, over 1,700 yards in one season, if you put 2 to 5 more touches every single game, you would literally have a receiver that would have about 2,600 yards. About 2,600 yards in a single season and about 270 receptions. Something nobody's gotten anywhere close to. But yet, in Stephen Jones's mind, Well, you know, we're paying all this money right here, so we're expecting that kind of production out of them. And we wonder why we don't win. Well, good people, tomorrow's another day. There'll be more rumors, be more chasing these stories down, and so on. That is, if we're here. And that brings me to remembering that tell people you love how much you love them. In the same way that I was fortunate enough to get back my original channel, I could go back through and look at some of those videos. Mike has got access to his old channel, and on there he has a lot of videos of Rashid and some of the great times that we had with him and things. He did actually the little Nitro challenge. He did a premiere on that this evening. And you know, it's good to go back and look at things that happened before. You know, I wish I had more pictures of growing up in my family and things that I could really go back to. I wish YouTube had been around back then, so we'd have these video memories to always have. I love you guys, and God willing, we'll all see each other tomorrow. Oh, feeling kind of stiff today. Peace out.